Hello, my golf fanatics. It's Billy Ho here once again. Course preview and research show for the Charles Schwab Classic. We'll be back over in Texas. But before we get on to that, I wanted to recap the PGA Championship at Valhalla, which is my hometown of Louisville. I felt it was important. Enough wild and crazy things happened so we could go just kind of over day by day and put a bow on that second major championship of the season. And then after that, get into the Charles Schwab Challenge. Colonial Golf Course located Fort Worth will be the focus. We'll have a full field of 133 players, which will likely mean a lower 6 of 6 percentage in your DFS contests. So we're going to go over stats from Fantasy National, who powers the stats, look closely at the course, develop some player pools. And so all I ask is make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Smash that like button, as always. Join my DraftKings contest. We're going to check it in a few minutes. I don't think it's pricing's out yet, but we're going to take a look. It's buy free drop Billy. That's me. So let's get this thing started. This past week in my hometown, Louisville, Kentucky, PGA Championship, Valhalla Golf Course, we had our ups and downs. We had some really weather that dictated a lot of the pace of play and the scoring. Obviously, Thursday was a perfect day for scoring. We had a nice soft golf course with plenty of water, soft and receptive. Xander Schauffele shot 9 under 62 to hit, start off the first round overnight lead, and then Friday morning happened. We got rain overnight, but it wasn't really, it was just this misty, dark, foggy rain, 5:30 in the morning. And you could picture just if you knew how Shelbyville Road was going down to where Valhalla is, it's just kind of more away from the local city area and traffic. Well, unfortunately, what happened was a pedestrian was struck by a shuttle bus and killed, and just awful for the poor family of the deceased. But traffic was backed up due to the investigation. Louisville Police Department don't play around when it comes to that stuff. They take fatalities in traffic accidents very seriously. So all the golfers trying to get to the golf course, traffic's backed up, tee times are in jeopardy. Nobody really knows that they're planning on delaying the round 2 start times by an hour or hour and a half or whatever. So what it amounts to is number one golfer in the world, Scottie Scheffler, on his way to the course, damp, rainy, dark morning, and he's trying to go around in the westbound lane where a lot of the players were being waved through. He stopped by a police officer, given instructions on what to do. He allegedly refused the proper instructions. And then I don't know the story on this, but it appears that he tried to drive off while the officer maybe reached in to try to grab him as he was driving away or something. And he was drugged. The officer was drugged several feet, knocked to the ground, tore his pants, hurt his wrist, all that stuff. Anyway, that's going to get your ass locked up for sure. So anyway, everybody's got a version of the story. And then there's somewhere in the middle is the truth. But Scottie gets locked up, taken downtown, booked, spends a little while in a jail cell. He's released in time. He's got an extra hour and a half or so from the delay. So he shows up to the course after all that and shot like a 5 under 66, like nothing ever happened. And then, of course, Xander, I believe, still held the lead, but just 12 under. So it was like Scottie was 9 under, I think, just 3 back. So everybody's like, here we go. Here comes Scottie. Well, Saturday is when everything caught up with Scottie. His caddy, Ted Scott, who is just an integral part of his process, had to be in New Orleans for his daughter's graduation. So he had the chaplain, PGA chaplain or something, carrying his bag for him. And also the mental fatigue of his ordeal Friday. So he shot a 2 over par 73, his first round over par all year long. Well, that basically knocked him out of the mix to win the golf tournament, unfortunately. And then there was a slew of guys, Bryson, Sahith Theegala, Justin Rose showing up at a PGA tournament once again. But the man of the day was Shane Lowry, who was hot fire, making every putt. He made like 260-foot of putts or something crazy. But the one putt he missed was a shorty on the easy hole 18 to break Xander's 62. So they tie the record. And then Xander goes and takes the lead into the clubhouse again. And dude wasn't about to blow it this time around. He shot, going into 18, he needed a birdie. Bryson got to 20 under. It's 20, 21 under. I can't recall. But he needed to birdie 18 to break the tie and win the major. So he hits the ball in the bunker. Then he has to lay up, but a beautifully perfect layup, chipping a putt. He has a 6-footer tester to win the golf tournament, which he makes. He'd been clutch all week. So congratulations. He wasn't going to let what happened to him at the Wells Fargo affect the outcome. That's balls to me. And props to Xander Schauffele for coming back off a tournament that you should have won and losing it the way he did, getting kind of blown out on Sunday by Rory McIlroy. He tightens the screws and gets it done, gets his first major, and I guess that little monkey off his back, so to speak. So besides Scottie, the other major story of the week, I think my takeaway on Bryson DeChambeau is back. He lost the weight. He had several medical issues that he was talking about, inflammation and, all that, your gut and all that kind of stuff. The stuff he was cramming his body with, he was swollen and he had some like sinus problems, but he got all that taken care of. He lost a whole bunch of weight. He's got his flexibility and his touch back. He's always a good putter. He's going to be a force for these majors to come, most definitely. So let's get into Colonial Golf Course, 7,200 yards, par 70, golf course that cannot be overpowered, tree-lined fairways, dog legs, pure bent grass greens, small greens, 5,000 square feet on average. The fairways are Bermuda. The rough is a 3-inch Bermuda rough that you do not want to try to hack out of. But the greens actually will remind you a little bit of how it was at Valhalla. I think the way they'll putt, I think they're going to be similar. But obviously the course is much shorter. It's going to play more difficult, obviously, but birdies will be hard to come by. I believe the 2 par 5s are ones you have to take advantage of. Number 1 and number 2, easy holes to get you started off. Then 3, 4, and 5 are difficult. Number 11 is the 635-yard par 5, which is probably a 3-shot for all layup type hole. I don't know how many people will get there in 2. You're going to have to be really long off the tee for that one. Scoreable par 4s, 2, 6, 17 and 18. That sets it up for, if you're playing showdown, this is one of the few weeks I think that actually looking for guys starting on number 10 will be an advantage, because you have 17 and 18 fairly easy, 1 and 2 fairly easy. It gives you 2 separate opportunities to get the 3 birdie bonus. So you can either birdie 17, 18 and 1, or you can birdie 18, 1 and 2. So weather, it's Texas. Wind is going to be a factor, but there's 2 days worth of these scattered thunderstorms that are right around Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, floating in that range. So we don't really know what's going to happen, but the wind looks like it's going to be between 10 and 15 miles an hour, sustained, gusts up to 30 miles an hour, 20 to 30 miles an hour. So very summer-like temps. It's going to warm up. So this could be some very severe weather, upper 80s, low 90s. We're just going to have to track those storms and see where they land, see if they're going to affect play, because it looks like a lot of rain, like an inch and a half of rain over a 2-day period. So we're definitely going to be on the alert for that. So let's jump over to Fantasy National Golf Club and see what the course is telling us stats-wise. Okay, things are working out for us today. It appears that we have pricing out for the Charles Schwab Challenge. So we are going to go ahead and create the Billy Ho Sports on YouTube League contest. So let's do it right now. See, what I do is I always choose 75 entrants, and then I'm going to choose the $3 tag, and I'm going to pay the top 3 because we haven't been, once we start getting actually 75 filled, I'll start paying top 5, but we've been barely not even getting 50. I just make it 75 to give us that cushion. So we'll do, Billy Ho's. Let's see what we got going on here. Bear with me just a second. I got papers. I got the papers. Anyway, Billy Ho's, Charles SCH Schwab. I believe that's how it's spelled. Billy Ho's Charles Schwab, exclamation point. And we're going to make that resizable so it runs no matter what. And so then we're going to go and create the contest. So now we got prices to talk about. And we'll come back to this. Hopefully it comes up. I just wanted to see what we were looking at. And like I said, when it comes to stats, obviously Scheffler was going to be the top dog. And he's $2,300 more expensive. Just keep an eye on him. He's going to be arraigned tomorrow in Louisville for his charges. But if I was his mental health professional, which I'm not, obviously, but I would say, bro, take the next couple of weeks off, skip this tournament coming up, then skip the Canadian Open, which he may not even be allowed to leave the country. He is facing a felony charge, so they may restrict his travel. So he may have to skip the following week's Canadian Open, and then that leaves June 6th, the Memorial. So, I mean, what's that? Like just 2 or 3 weeks? It's not even 3 weeks. It's just 2 golf tournaments. Take a couple of weeks off, get your mind right, get your affairs in order, spend some time with your son. That's all I'm going to say. Anyway, so we're going to get into the breakdown, which I showed you a little bit of as we were doing the flyover. So tree line fairways, 27 yards wide on average, 3-inch Bermuda rough. Accuracy off the tee is what you want. Clubbing down will be the way to go, obviously. And I'm going to go to tournament history while we're talking about this. This is the top tournament history, guys. So, like I said, clubbing down, because you're still going to get a lot of wedges on approach. The bucket's going to be from like 100 to 150 for the most part. Small greens are going to make greens in regulation more important. So we want guys that hit fairways already. The Brendan Todds and the Tom Hoagies of the world, and a lot of the accuracy guys out there. And then obviously we want some aggressiveness, because it may sop soak the golf course. So you may see guys throwing darts if we get an inch of rain or something like that. So opportunities gained, birdie or better, DK points are always in play. And then you guys you like on bent grass, you can see Jordan Spieth. Obviously, he's won this tournament. T10, T8, T7. He missed the cut last year, but he's prone to just whatever results. We don't know what's going on with Jordan. He looked pretty good Thursday, and then, of course, he did what Jordan does. He finished middle of the trail somewhere like 40th. So his form has been just all over the place. Hard to trust, but at a course he loves to play. So the dude can scramble his ass off, and he can putt and chip. Finau, this is a really Tony Finau had a nice bounce back week, I think. So he's definitely a dude. Bent grass Tony, I used to say, these are guys right here. These 2 guys, Kawa and Tony, easy bent grass greens. That's who I play. Daniel Berger's another interesting one. He's won this tournament. He had a T13 at Byron Nelson. I think his game's starting to finally come around. He had to take off half the year last year for another injury with his hip back or something. So he struggled a bit early on. He's coming around. Justin Rose always plays well here. He won, crushed this course several years ago, like 2018 or something like that. He looked fantastic last week. Griot, I don't know about him. He disappointed. He missed the cut. He's really been playing like shit lately, so not really interested in him. But Max Homa, Victor Hovland has WD'd. Keep an eye out on the WD train. Steven Yeager WD'd, Victor Hovland WD'd, Scottie Scheffler still may WD. There might be a couple of guys that bounce before the end of the week comes. So keep an eye on those. Guys like Putnam, guys that can putt and get fire with the putter. Putnam's had some good results. You can see some mixed cuts in there as well. But when Putnam is even off the tee and hitting his irons close, he just makes up for everything else. Brendan Todd's a really great wedge player. When he gets rolling with the irons, if he can putt, all these guys are in play. Charlie Hustle always has good vibes in Texas. CT Pan as well, the Asian and Korean type community. Definitely Pacific Rim, all that whole area of the world. That likes this area, lives in this area. Sung J M, who's actually from Atlanta, he's had a couple of good results. He was terrible. He missed the cut at the PGA, so I don't know about his bounce back abilities. We'll have to do a deeper dive into driving. So basically, these are the stats I was looking at. This is just kind of like I called it Charles Schwab ball striking, because I wanted fairways gained, good drives, heavy approach, greens gained, 10 to 15 foot putting. Obviously, your DK your scats, CATS, cats. And then you got par 4 scoring 450 to 500. So if you saw it, there's 7 par 4s that meet that criteria. Opportunities gained. I also have a mixed condition model that I find very interesting that I like to compare these two as we're going down the line here. So this is what the mixed condition model looks like. I got just regular approach from last 24, good rounds last 24. Ops gain, I just kind of left those from the previous model. Proximity last 12. And then I put these stipulations over the last 3 months, average to difficult hitting fairways. I thought that sounds good to me. We'll see how they do on approach on that. We'll see how they do birdies and ops gained. You can see how the stuff lays out. And then this is the mixed condition rankings of those. Tom Hoagie has been ranking high in models. Aaron Rye playing great golf. Lucas Glover really playing good. All these guys are great ball strikers. Ryan Moore, this might be another Ryan Moore special. He's had a bit of a resurgence on shorter courses that he don't get blown away off the driving. He hits fairways. He's good with his irons, and he does struggle. You can see the DK points in the birdies. He's decent in opportunities gained. That's what I wanted to see, was the opportunities gained on these guys. Keith Mitchell was definitely disappointing, missing the cut on the number. Sepp Straka. Some of these guys really did not play well at all last week. Keegan did. I like Keegan on these types of courses where he can just mash it off the tee and knock it on. You know, he's really good. You can see he's 4th in greens gained. He's 11th in the model when they're both consistent like that. I like that. What we can actually do is go over here and actually look at the mixed condition model and see who's showing up. You can see Lucas Glover, Tom Hoagie. There's Ryan Moore again. These are specialized types of plays. Siwoo Kim hopefully bounces back. But then you start looking at Eckroat's been playing really great. Nate Lashley, he kind of plays pretty good in Texas. Brian Harmon, this is a great course for him. He's played well here before. Like I said, Finau Putnam, I've already mentioned. Brendan Todd, I've mentioned. I wanted to get in here and see if there was anybody that was popping anywhere, like fairways gained. Colin Morikawa. He doesn't rank really high in this model, but he has been coming around a lot better. So these are guys that you can be on the lookout for. This is also from Golf Betting System. This is just a combination stats of recent form and then course history. And you can just kind of thumb your way through here and see. Billy Horschel's one that I think is kind of interesting, even though he hadn't had great results. He was fantastic last week. He eagled 18 to finish in the top 10, putted the lights out, gained 6 strokes. This is a course where Emiliano Grillo won last year, gaining 7 strokes putting with the flat stick. And he is not a very good putter. So building a player pool will depend on what you want to do. I'm going to try to narrow it down and get safe 6 of 6 guys. Like I said, Scottie, we don't know what's going to happen to him, if he'll play or not. But guys, Daniel Berger's a guy I'll look into. And course history, you can see how good Spieth has been. And then you can just kind of thumb through and see who's hot and who's not. But getting back over to the main model, you see the same guys. Finau, Morikawa, Harmon. I don't know about Grillo, but Charlie Hoffman, I think, is safer than he used to be. He's always good in these conditions in Texas. Billy Ho, like I mentioned, he looks like a solid play. But there is plenty of time. Let's go finish out by looking at maybe just a quick build. So, like I said, you're watching Billy Ho. I appreciate you smashing that like, subscribing to the channel, all that good stuff. Billy Ho Sports. I also do horse racing, so check me out. Triple Crown coverage, all kinds of great stuff. So, speaking of Billy, let's do 8,800. Boy, that's pricey. I thought he'd be cheaper than that. Let's just build a balanced lineup. Harris English has been playing lights out lately. Let's just say keep guys Hollywood Hoagie. That's kind of crappy looking though, isn't it? You would want some guy like Morikawa, especially if Scheffler plays. But Minwoo, I don't think this is his jam. He's just long off the tee, but not accurate. So maybe if he clubs down, but he is a good scrambler. He's got a good around the green game, and he can putt, even though his putter's been a little on the cold side lately. Seabez is another kind of guy that you would want to play. Detry has been just outstanding. This seems like a ball striker's paradise for him. So we're still way up here in the Dumpy Bow. I don't know. Adam Shank. He's been looking pretty good here lately. What did he do? Okay, so he did get cut at +1. I couldn't remember if he had made the cut or not. But he's had some good results. He does play well in Texas. So maybe he just didn't the PGA Championship Valhalla just didn't suit his eye. But like I said, Putnam's down here. If we want to dip into the 6K range, I wanted to see if there was anybody that stood out. Of course, obviously, Charlie Hustle will leave us with 8,300. And then that means we can get up. I want to see the bottom of the barrel. So we do have 5K guys. So there's a 5K alert. I don't know if there's anybody down here that's going to be worth playing. Jimmy Walker, Texas Ranger at flat 5K. I have no idea what he's been up to, but he used to play lights out in Texas. Of course, he's not making many of any cuts lately anymore. So he's probably not going to make it. Chandler Bong, I call him Chandler Phillips. He's been playing some pretty good golf lately. He's a guy that might be under consideration. Double R Norman, weaker fields where he can get in there and take advantage of a lesser fields. He sometimes plays pretty well. Carson Young. See, these are guys like Carson Young at 6K. Definitely interested in him. He is just a flat out cut maker who hits the ball straight. Solid player. So I'm not going to pick the last guy. I'll save that for later. Okay, to close things out, like I said, Jordan Spieth seems like he could come out here and win without form, but he hasn't been really good. The comfort level of being back sort of close to home. He is a Dallas-Fort Worth area guy, I do believe. The mixed condition model I used was like the last 3 months or 24 rounds, kind of like average to difficult fairways. Tom Hoagie seems like he's going to be really popular. Uh, but he doesn't putt well on bent if you look at his fantasy national stats, but he looked really good. He gained 2-3 strokes at the PGA. So if he's in a good form, I think he can ride that. Pretty safe play. But in the background, you can see there is an opening pool of about 14 players or so of guys that I'll be interested in looking closely at. Pay attention to the weather and tee times when they come out so we can see if, because there's absolutely going to be some wave stacking, some tee stacking, things of that nature. So best of luck this week, and we'll see you soon. Thank you for watching.